Hello and welcome back to Closed Circuit Sports. I'm Drew Goldman. This is part 3 of the doubleheader weekend. This is the morning medium sessions from Sunday, which is round 6 in the Indy Karting Challenge. 5 and 6 were Saturday and Sunday. We ran light and medium in both. Thank goodness for everybody helping each other out at these events. Everybody looking out for each other. Good vibes all around. We're going out for qualifying because I want to show you that the layout changed. Not a ton, but enough. Just a little. And we're going to do it with no data, just so that you get a good little raw look, and then we'll bring the data in later. Of the classes that I got a chance to run, this one ended up kind of being the Empire Strikes Back situation of the weekend. Hey, Levi. It's so fast. It's so open. And then there's this wacky hairpin. All right, we'll try and make that pivot happen. And then the same goofy-ass corner from yesterday. Here we go. Okay, wait, what's the entry point there? That's so odd. And that freaking crest. That one was fine. It's the first one. Wide open through that corner. Oh my goodness. It didn't feel like that much of a save in real time. Watching it back didn't look very safe. Still trying to find the right way to swivel it in there so that I can hit the exit. I was loving this layout in the dry. Those clouds look ominous. So you can see a bunch of the corners from yesterday repeat. And then there's just really this big change back here on the main straight, back straight. I think of this as the main straight, but the main straight, honestly, is the one with the building and the timing stand and everything. So that's the front straight. That's the back straight that we were just on. That little center section is confusing. Trying to actually place the apexes correctly, like early enough that you can begin exiting as early as possible. And push the throttle application point back earlier in the corner. It's a martial art, man. Timing, the input, the output, it's all frickin' physics. Going to caster in was a cool experiment that did find me a couple of tenths because, I don't know, I felt like it was more forgiving in the front, in the dry. It allowed me to use the rears more aggressively, I would say. But it wasn't ideal because I was adapting too much instead of just trying to do better, which I should be doing, because it only found me a couple of tenths. And it was probably too much work for what it was worth, and it left me exposed in the event that it would rain. Because I would want all that front end grip if it rained. Taking the torsion bar out of this 30 mil two-stroke chassis was a game changer for freeing up the front. It allowed it to roll much better. I'm trying to learn how to jack the inside rear. I got my dog Colton Kelly hitting me up, letting me know that I need to lean out more. So I might need to do that next time we go out. But I always worry about overloading that outside rear to the point where it breaks and gives. But I understand that if you're putting more mass over it, it should, in theory, hold better than if you're in the center. And that inside rear would then be freer to lift. But I was just getting pretty good at holding myself still in seat, damn it. My lanky ass wants to get thrown from the seat every time I get bumped. So I'm trying to learn how to exert my mass within the cart, besides just through my hands and my feet. Trying to actually use the seat of my pants, trying to use my core and put my body where it needs to be most advantageous through a corner. Like we've been saying, it's martial art. And I've been practicing all the hands and feet stuff through the sim, and I'm pretty good, pretty close, pretty quick. But real racing, you get to be under G. Actual G load. And there's no real good way to prep for that. I've trained tire feedback, I've trained in VR, direct drive, load cell braking, all the things. Still, G. You can't simulate G. The compressions, and the bumps, and the crests of hills, and all that roller coaster shit, yeah, you still can't really fake that.
You helped me tighten up as well, so thank you.
So much fun. This go-kart stuff, crazy fun.
Thank you.
I will always love the simulator for the Ben 10 thing. The fact that I can just omnitrix one wheel to roll them all. Switch up tracks, switch up tires, switch up cars is beautiful and glorious. All of that good stuff. Everybody being on level playing field, all that good stuff, yes. However, out here, there's a reality check that gets to occur. Simply cannot be compared. So this is me going out, obviously, late for the heat race because you can see a little bit of water. It was starting to rain. We didn't know what was gonna happen. So we had made the call on the tires at the very last moment. And I decided, given that qualifying had not gone particularly well, I should probably go out on the wets. So we're out here on the wets, but I took every second I could to make that call, and I'm the only one out there on the wets, and I thought that I had not turned the camera on, so I turned the camera off, thinking I was turning it on. So we did not get that race, but it didn't go well. Here's why. It didn't rain. It was starting to rain, but it didn't rain. So I burned up the wets. Now they're like crumbled. And then it started to pour. So now I'm on caster in still because I didn't think to ask to change it back. We probably had time. But if we were going to change it back, then we'd have to change it back if I wanted it back to caster in for the dry, if it was ever going to dry up, and it might. Though this was a very wet race. This was not there was no debate to be had in this session. This was a wet race. But I am not on the maximum grip wet setup that I had had for round 2. With full hindsight, knowing what setup I had had on the cart for round 2 where everything went so well. I had the torsion bar in, I had caster out, I had the stock length axle in, the full 1040 axle in the rear, and caster out, camber -1. So now we're at caster in, excuse me, camber -1. So we have less front end grip and less rear end grip because now the rear end is cut down to 1,000, but we have the 20 mil hub spacers in on each side, which is supposed to help with stability. Oh my goodness. We almost hit Nick there. And I'm keeping my hands full just trying to keep it on track because now I have all of this dry racing experience where I was just starting to learn how to squeeze. And now, oh my goodness, we're getting understeer everywhere. I can't trust it. I'm just putting around. Oh. Can't get it to stay in anywhere. Caster in. It's gonna do me in. I don't know if the torsion bar is actually a thing that I would want in it, even in the rain, but oh my goodness, I took that bump wrong and it let the fronts just slide. I'm like, damn, I can't see, I can't steer, what the hell? Come to think of it, I also didn't change the gearing at all when it rained. If there was anything I should have done, it was probably that. All we had done was put the rain tires on, and then I didn't think about anything between the heat race and the final because I was trying to get the heat race out of my head, but I wasn't thinking actively about the final. Damn it. Oh, and then we slide the whole way. I'm looking right at that pole. Oh my goodness, too close. The base of that light pole was far too close. Like 6 inches away from my ass, too close. 6 inches away from my rear axle, we'll put it that way. Big thanks to Casey for getting me back on track. But now it's looking like a lawnmower. The rain gear was not comfy. It needed to be raining like as hard as it was raining in round 2. And it wasn't. It was rain tires territory, for sure. And it was actively raining, for sure. And we were all kicking up more spray, all that. But man, again, no! I'm like, damn. See, my hand's like, what do I do there? Can't keep it straight over that little bump. This is dicey. I'm like, come on. Where's the grip? Again. Man, had counter steer up the hill there. That's wild. Looking back at the data, I'm getting decent turn in. I just wasn't trusting it for when it would go past. Oh my god, not there I wasn't. I was expecting more grip there and couldn't pull it. Caster out sure would have helped with the front end. But it's not the only thing that went wrong. I wasn't driving delicately enough. But I also knew that everybody else was getting more time out of their carts, and I was like, am I going over the limit? What the hell is the deal? Trying to get everything I can out of it, but at this point I'm just trying to bring it home. Safe. A little bit quicker now. Understeer the whole way through there. Managed understeer, but still. I'm seeing blue flags. I'm getting out of the way. I'm gonna hold the widest line I can. Point him through. That spin boned me entirely. But now I'm getting to follow Braden at least. Ugh, not for long. That's depressing. Levels to this shit, man. Levels. He's on another one. He's been the class of this league all year. Patton doing a great job keeping up. No! Again. And at this point, I'm really wondering whether I should continue or whether I should go back to the pits. Because Casey, my man, helped me out again. I'm like, pits. And he's like, huh? I'm like, I'm going back to pits. And he's like, do you want to get back out though? I'm like, yeah, shit, here we go. I'm like, yeah, I should keep going. I should finish. All right, here we go. God, that's embarrassing. Just trying to put it all back together now, trying to hold a little recovery drive, find the finish line. Gosh. It's worth doing to not just let the track beat me. But twice in the same corner, the same way, ugh. That's a confidence wrecker. Blue flags again? Ouch. Never had that happen before. I hope I never have that happen again. Now that corner's gonna have me on my tiptoes for the rest of the day. Awesome. White flag this time, thank God. Ugh. That was nearly 3. I'm like, dude, what do I do? That was awful. We've done a lot of kart development for the dry. Couldn't undo much of it in the time that we had. So now it was like, yikes, this thing is loose. Back to baseline, thank you. The setup for Elkhart is much more conservative. I learned from this experience. Salty. So, Now I have to shake that off. Because that was just participation points. Take a lunch break and try to get ready for the afternoon sessions because, and thank you, Trevor. Yes, of course. Thank you, Trevor. That was awful. Now what? We're gonna clean it up. We're gonna go back to the dries probably. I think by the time the afternoon session started, it was dry again, which is crazy, but true. You can see it's not actively raining now, but the track sure isn't drying yet. Pretty hot day though, meant the visibility wasn't great. And there's a lot. There's a lot that was going on this day. It was icky. We'll call it icky. Making our way back to the new gen garage. Didn't even think about changing the gearing. So I was short a few teeth on the rear sprocket that I probably should have had for running in the rain, because I didn't think to mention it. I should have. I didn't even request it. Mrs. Estrada deserves a shout out, because I pointed out Eric in the last video. He was one of my buddies from K1 in Fishers doing the challenge GP, and he's a great kid. And his mom of the weekend, she got a U-Haul to try and make it work. They were gonna get a truck to bring his cart from where they were, but they ended up needing a U-Haul because they were out of trucks when they got there, and so damn it, they drove the U-Haul. And I love it, the way that everybody just makes it happen in whatever way they can. So big shout out to Mrs. Estrada and Eric and his brother for making the trip to see him race. An awesome track like Whiteland.